Hello everyone. Today we're going to take a look at one of the less commonly discussed blood group systems. First is the Diego blood group system, also known as ISBT-010. Now, while this system doesn't come up as often as ABO or RH, it's still clinically significant, especially when we're dealing with transfusion reactions or hemolytic disease of the fetus and newborn. The Diego system was named after the first person in whom the anti-DIA antibody was discovered, a member of a Venezuelan family. That's why it carries the name Diego. Diego antigens are expressed on red blood cells of newborns, so they are already present at birth, which is important when considering their potential role in HDFN. These antigens are carried on protein called band 3, also known as an ion exchanger, or AE1, or by its gene name SLC4A1. Band 3 is an integral membrane protein responsible for the exchange of chloride and bicarbonate ions in red cells. The process is essential for maintaining acid-base balance and facilitating carbon dioxide transport in blood. Now, here's something interesting. The DIA antigen is rare in most populations, but not all. It's actually polymorphic in certain ethnic groups. So let's define that real quick. Polymorphism means there's more than one form of version of a gene or antigen that exists in a population, and both forms are relatively common. Usually, the rarer one has a frequency of at least 1%. In people of Mongolian ancestry, DIA shows polymorphism, meaning it's not just a rare mutation, but it's a regular part of the genetic diversity in those populations, even more so in South American indigenous populations, where the frequency can reach up to 54%, and that's more than half of the population. So in these groups, DIA is, DIA is not rare at all. From a transfusion medicine perspective, this system matters because individuals who lack the DIA antigen can develop anti-DIA antibodies if exposed, either through transfusion or pregnancy. These antibodies can cause hemolytic transfusion reactions and even hemolytic disease of the fetus and newborn, which is why Diego antigen screening might be considered in at-risk population. Also, while it's not part of the Diego system, anti-WRA is commonly found along with other antibodies and sometimes shows up during antibody screening. It can complicate serologic workups, especially in patients with multiple alloantibodies. A helpful laboratory feature is that Diego antigens are resistant to enzyme treatment. That means if you treat red cells with enzymes like papain or fisin, which normally denature or enhance other antigens, Diego antigens remain unaffected. This resistance can actually help you identify Diego-related antibodies when working through a panel. Also, important characteristics is that the Diego blood group system is associated with hereditary spherocytosis, acanthocytosis, and Southeast Asian ovalocytosis. Moving on, the Cartwright blood group system, or the ISBT-011. Let's discuss a bit of background. This system was first identified in 1956, and what's interesting is how it got its name. It was named after a patient with the last name Cartwright, and they actually used the last letter T from the name for the designation of the system. It's a little naming trivia, but useful to know for the context. Now, the Cartwright antigens, commonly yung YTA and YTB, are present at birth, so they are considered fully developed early on. However, they are expressed more weakly on cord blood RBCs compared to adult red cells. Also worth noting, in patients with paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria type 3, these antigens are absent from their RBCs. That's because the protein carrying these antigens is GPI linked, and in PNH, GPI anchors are missing from the red cell surface. So any GPI-linked proteins like this one are also absent. Now, the YT antigens. There are two main antigens in this system. First is the YTA. This is a high prevalence antigen, meaning most people have it. Whereas YTB, this is a low prevalence, so it is only found in a small percentage of the population. These two antithetical antigens, which means they are opposite forms of alleles of the same gene. The difference between YTA and YTB comes from a single amino acid substitution in protein. What proteins are we talking about? The YT antigens are found on acetylcholinesterase, a GPI-linked glycoprotein on the red cell membrane. You might recognize acetylcholinesterase from neuromuscular physiology. It breaks down acetylcholine, but here it also carries blood group antigens. In the lab, the YT antigens are variably sensitive to enzymes like pisin and papain. Sometimes they are affected, sometimes not. It depends on the enzymes, concentrations, and incubation time. But here's a key point. They are sensitive to DTT or dithiotritol. DTT breaks disulfide bonds and can destroy certain antigens, including those in the system. So if you treat red cells with DTT and an antibody disappears, that might help you identify a YT-related antibody. Next, the XG blood group. It was first discovered in the serum of a man who undergone blood transfusion multiple times. Like many rare antibodies, it was picked up during routine antibody screening after multiple exposures to foreign red blood cells antigens. The main antigen here is the XGA. Cord blood red cells do express XGA, but only weakly. So if you're testing newborn samples, don't expect strong reactivity. XGA is sometimes discussed alongside other surface marker like yung CD99. While not part of the XG system itself, CD99 is genetically and functionally close. Both are located on the X chromosome, which becomes important when we talk about inheritance. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The XG system is the only blood group system that's inherited on the X chromosome. Because of this, expression differs between sexes. For females who have both X chromosomes can inherit two copies of the XGA gene, so they are more likely to express the antigen. On the other hand, the males, XY, only inherit one X chromosome, so they are more likely to lack the antigen entirely if their X chromosome doesn't carry the gene. This is the only blood group system where a sex-linked inheritance plays a direct and visible role in antigen frequency. From a laboratory testing point of view, XGA is sensitive to enzyme treatment, meaning enzymes like pisin and papain can destroy the antigen, which may help in antibody identification. But it's resistant to DTT treatment. So if you treat cells with DTT and their activity stays the same, the XG system antigen might still be intact. Next, the Shana. The Shana system was named after the first patient in whom the antibody was discovered. Specifically, the antibody was found in Mrs. Shana. Like many other systems, it started with a clinical case that revealed something new in transfusion medicine. The antigens in the Shana system are expressed on cord blood RBCs, meaning they're present early on. It, it is important when considering their role in HDFN, though they are not typically strongly implicated in severe cases. The Shana system is controlled by the SC gene, which is located on chromosome 1, specifically at 1p34. Now, the SC gene encodes a protein known as ERMAP, short point erythroid membrane associated protein. This protein functions as a red cell adhesion molecule, playing a role in how red blood cells interact with other cells and the surrounding environment. So again, not just a random surface marker, but a protein with biological function. From a serologic testing standpoint, Shana antigen shows some useful patterns. They are resistant to common enzymes like ficin and papain. Treating red cells with these won't destroy the antigens, so they remain detectable. They are slightly weakened by DTT, so reactivity may decrease a bit after treatment, but the antigens are not fully destroyed. This mild DTT sensitivity can be useful if you're narrowing down antibody possibilities during a panel workup. Next, the Dombrack system. It is named after Mrs. Dombrack, the first patient in whom the anti-DOA antibody was discovered. It's always interesting how this system gets their names from patients who were the first to reveal an unexpected antibody. The Dombrack antigens are present on cord RBCs, so they show up early, which is important to remember when you're thinking about possible HTMN. However, they are absent from the RBCs of people with paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria type 3 because PNH is caused by the lack of GPI. And these antigens are GPI anchored. The antigens in the Dombrack system are carried by a protein called ART4, which stands for mono-ADP ribosyl transferase 4. This protein is attached to the RBC membrane via GPI anchor. This is important because GPI anchored proteins are critical for cell membrane integrity, and their absence in PNH patients is why these antigens aren't expressed on their RPCs. Now, there's something specific to note about the HY phenotype. This phenotype is seen almost exclusively in black populations. So if you're working with a patient from this demographic, keep the possibility of HY in mind when you're analyzing the Dombrack system. When it comes to antibodies, anti-DOA and anti-DOB are the main antibodies associated with the Dombrack system. However, these antibodies rarely occur as single specificities, and often you'll see them in combination with other antibodies. This can make identification a bit trickier in the lab. From a laboratory standpoint, the Dombrack antigens have some distinctive properties. They are resistant to common enzyme treatments like pisin, papain, and glycine EDTA. These enzymes don't significantly affect the antigens, so you can still detect them even after enzyme treatment. However, they are sensitive to 0.2 molar dithiotritol treatment. And DTT breaks down disulfide bonds and it can weaken or destroy the antigens. So if you treat RBCs with DTT and find a certain reactivity decreases, the Dombrack antigens may be involved. Moving on, the Colton system. It was named after Carlton, the first patient in whom the anti-COB antibody was discovered. However, there's a bit of history behind the naming. The tube in which the test was